For centuries, the oceans have been both a path of discovery and a battlefield of greed, blood, and fear. In the 17th and 18th centuries, a shadow ruled the waves, men and women who lived and died by the sword, the sail, and the skull and crossbones flag. This is the story of the most infamous pirates in history. The so-called Golden Age of Piracy lasted roughly from 1650 to 1730, a time when European empires expanded across the seas, and merchant ships carried fortunes in gold, silver, and spices. But with riches came outlaws, men who refused to live under any king's rule.
Part 1. Blackbeard, the Devil of the Caribbean. His name was Edward Teach, but the world would remember him by a single word: Blackbeard. A towering figure over 6 feet tall, with wild eyes and a beard so long he tied slow-burning fuses into it, setting them aflame before battle, to appear like a demon risen from the depths. Blackbeard commanded a ship called Queen Anne's Revenge, a former French slave vessel he captured and armed with 40 cannons. He ruled the Caribbean with terror, blockading ports and demanding ransoms from colonial governors. His legend grew fast. Stories told of him drinking rum mixed with gunpowder and shooting at his own crew just to keep them afraid. He was not only a pirate, he was a performance, a man who understood that fear was his greatest weapon. But every legend ends. In November 1718, the British Navy finally caught up with him near Ocracoke Island, North Carolina. After a fierce battle, Blackbeard was struck down with 5 gunshot wounds and 20 sword cuts. His head was hung from the ship's bow as a warning. But his ghost, they say, still haunts the waters. Blackbeard's reign of terror may have ended, but his image became eternal, the very symbol of piracy itself. Yet he was only one among many. Next, we meet the pirate who became a knight and who changed the Caribbean forever. Part 2. Sir Henry Morgan, the Gentleman Pirate. Before Blackbeard terrorized the seas, another man ruled the Caribbean, not with madness, but with strategy and ambition. His name was Henry Morgan, and though history remembers him as a pirate, he died as a knight of the British Crown. Born in Wales around 1635, Henry Morgan came to the Caribbean as a privateer, a legal pirate hired by England to attack Spanish ships and colonies. To the Spanish, he was a ruthless criminal. To the English, he was a hero and a weapon. Morgan's most daring act came in 1671, when he led over 1,200 men across the jungles of Panama to attack the wealthy city of Panama itself. With little food, no roads, and deadly snakes all around, many died before reaching the walls, but Morgan pressed on. After days of brutal combat, Morgan's forces captured Panama City. They burned, plundered, and destroyed it almost entirely, taking gold, silver, and jewels worth millions. For Spain, it was an unforgivable act. For Morgan, it was victory. Yet, instead of punishment, England rewarded him. In 1674, Henry Morgan was knighted and appointed lieutenant governor of Jamaica. The pirate had become a politician, proof that sometimes crime really does pay. But the years of excess caught up to him. By the 1880s, Morgan's health was destroyed by alcohol and tropical disease. He died in Port Royal in 1688, the same city that would later sink into the sea after a massive earthquake. Henry Morgan left behind a legend, a pirate who became a nobleman, a criminal turned hero. His story blurred the line between outlaw and patriot and inspired generations of men who sought not just gold, but glory. Part 3. Calico Jack and the Women of the Sea. In the early 1700s, the pirate haven of Nassau was alive with chaos, rum, and dreams of gold. Among the many rogues who ruled its docks was a man known for his charm and style rather than his brutality: Calico Jack Rackham. He earned his nickname from the brightly patterned calico fabric he wore, an unusual touch of color in a world of salt, gunpowder, and blood. But Rackham's true claim to fame came not from his fashion, but from the women who sailed beside him. Anne Bonny, the fiery Irish rebel. Anne Bonny was born in Ireland around 1700, the daughter of a wealthy man, but she rejected her comfortable life for the thrill of danger. When she met Calico Jack in Nassau, she was already married, but that didn't stop her. Together they stole a ship, raised the black flag, and vanished into legend. Anne fought like a man, cursed like a sailor, and feared nothing. Witnesses said she was more ferocious than most of Rackham's male crew. When asked why she chose piracy, she reportedly answered, "I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees." Mary Read, the soldier in disguise. The second woman aboard was Mary Read, a soldier, a sailor, and a survivor. She had lived most of her life disguised as a man, fighting in wars and working aboard ships. When she joined Rackham's crew, no one knew her secret until Anne discovered it, and the two became inseparable. Together, the two women fought with pistols and cutlasses, earning the respect and fear of their crewmates. In the male-dominated world of piracy, they were living proof that courage has no gender. The fall of Calico Jack. In October 2020, fate caught up with them. A British warship ambushed Rackham's crew near Jamaica. Most of the men were drunk and surrendered quickly, but Anne Bonny and Mary Read fought to the very end, refusing to give up. Rackham was captured and sentenced to hang. Before his execution, Anne was allowed to see him one last time. Her final words to him became legendary. "If you had fought like a man, you wouldn't have to die like a dog." Anne Bonny's fate remains a mystery. Some say she was executed. Others believe her wealthy father bought her freedom and she lived out her days in secret. Mary Read died in prison, but both women left behind a story that shattered the myth of pirates as only men. Part 4. Bartholomew Roberts, the pirate who ruled the seas. He was not the wild drunkard that many imagine when they think of pirates. He didn't drink, he didn't curse much, and he demanded discipline aboard his ship. Yet Bartholomew Roberts, known as Black Bart, became the most successful pirate in history. Born in Wales around 1682, Roberts started as a simple sailor aboard a merchant ship. He was captured by pirates, and instead of dying, he joined them. Within weeks, he rose through the ranks, and when his captain was killed, Roberts was chosen as the new leader. Under his command, everything changed. Roberts brought military order to piracy, creating a strict code of conduct. He banned gambling, limited drinking, and demanded that lights be out by 8 p.m. For him, piracy wasn't chaos, it was business. He was known for his elegance, always dressed in fine crimson clothes with a gold cross around his neck. He called himself a gentleman of fortune. But make no mistake, he was deadly. Over 4 years, Roberts captured more than 400 ships across the Atlantic. From Brazil to the Caribbean and all along the African coast, he attacked French warships, Portuguese treasure galleons, and English merchants alike. No one was safe from his black flag. His flag showed a skeleton holding an hourglass, a reminder that time runs out for everyone, and piercing a heart with a spear. To Roberts, piracy was more than crime. It was freedom from kings and nations. He once said, "In an honest service, there is thin commons, low wages, and hard labor. In this, plenty and satiety, pleasure and ease, liberty and power." But in February 1722, his reign came to a violent end. The British warship HMS Swallow caught him off the coast of Africa. In the first volley of cannon fire, a single shot struck Roberts in the throat. He died instantly. His men wrapped his body in his finest clothes, placed his pistols beside him, and buried him at sea, as he had ordered. The waves closed over the man who had once ruled them all. Bartholomew Roberts proved that piracy could be more than madness and chaos. Under his black flag, it became an empire, ruled by fear, ambition, and one man's will.
Part 5. The End of the Golden Age. From Outlaws to Legends.
By the 1720s, the Golden Age of piracy was fading. The oceans that had once belonged to pirates were now patrolled by powerful navies, British, Spanish, and French. The age of freedom on the high seas was coming to an end. Governments could no longer ignore the chaos. Merchant companies demanded protection for their cargoes, and nations wanted control over the seas. Hundreds of pirates were hunted down, captured, and publicly hanged, their bodies displayed as warnings along the coasts. In 1720, Calico Jack swung from the gallows in Jamaica. In 1721, the infamous Charles Vane was executed in Port Royal. And in 1722, Blackbeard Roberts, the last great pirate captain, was killed in battle. One by one, the black flags disappeared from the seas. By 1730, the Golden Age of piracy was over. What remained were stories, tales of courage, greed, and freedom that would outlive the men themselves. The world moved on, but the legend stayed. The legacy of pirates. In the centuries that followed, pirates became something more than criminals. They became symbols of rebellion, adventure, and the human hunger for freedom. From novels like Treasure Island to films like Pirates of the Caribbean, their ghosts still sail in our imagination. Their stories remind us that history is not written only by kings and conquerors, but also by outlaws who dared to defy them. The Golden Age is gone, but as long as there are people who dream of the open sea, the spirit of piracy, wild, free, and untamed, will never truly die.